Welcome to Old Joe's shower party. Despite an uncertain future, Old Joe obeys and, without hesitation, waves his dance moves as he cautiously steps out, crossing the pitch-black hallway. Suddenly, lights blare on and water sprays all over Old Joe while a bar of soap takes a dive onto the floor. At first, Old Joe jumps, but soon he gets a grip on reality. Turns out the guy just came for a bath. Old Joe gradually gets used to it, but still wonders why he's imprisoned here. And spinning the grindstone daily is utterly pointless. No grain milling, no money making, just a waste of time. Old Joe feels like he's just spinning his wheels. With just a bottle of water and a sandwich daily, Old Joe was starving. One day, after finishing the last drop, he finally shouted at the wall in fury. He yells for better perks, but instead of a response, a guy on the other side of the wall tells him prison isn't exactly a buffet. To sip more water, Old Joe needs ideas. Behind the green duck-monitored wall, he plans to stash pee bottles for thirst relief. The man informs Old Joe that indulging in drinking urine isn't exactly a brilliant idea. Old Joe nearly bursts into laughter, yet the man remains absolutely thrilled about it. He also mentions the green duck's data is spot on, just enough for Old Joe to survive. But that doesn't leave Old Joe with enough strength to pull any mischief. With thoughts of his pregnant wife and that monster mortgage, he knows he's got to survive and bust out of here. He dreams of a better life for his wife and soon-to-arrive kid, reminiscing about sweet times with her, completely zoning out right before he spins a whopping 370 rounds and collapses. He spots the name Alex carved into the wood and hurriedly asks the guy next door if that's ex-boss's name and what happened to him. The guy flat out tells Old Joe Alex is a legend around here, the first one to leave without sneaking out like a ninja. Hearing this, Old Joe's hope refuels. The next day, the green duck says Old Joe exceeded quotas, so it's reward time. He picks up the box and discovers that the so-called reward inside is merely a pen. This makes Old Joe wonder in his heart, what exactly am I supposed to make of this so-called reward? What a turkey. What am I supposed to do? Unexpectedly, right after his little rant, the tally on the wall jumps from 50 to 300. Old Joe looks puzzled. He doesn't understand the green duck. Yet, the duck explains happily. Since Old Joe did 370 laps yesterday, you'll crush it daily from now. People unleash their true potential under pressure. Old Joe sighs, understanding he can't change reality, so he just plays by the rules. He had no idea that, after spinning once, his tally hadn't budged. After asking the guy, he finally gets it. Turns out, he's facing a punishment today. 2 laps only count as 1 point. So, he needs to hit 740 laps to meet the quota. Although he has no idea if he can pull this off, Old Joe just wants to survive. So, off he goes, hustling with all he's got. But with such a mountain of laps, even his utmost effort proves futile, so he shares his plight with the guy next door. Upon hearing Old Joe's got to hit 740 laps, the guy next door bursts into furious laughter, throwing insults left. Old Joe feels super guilty. As he sits down, brooding over his misfortune, the green duck speaks up. You only managed 273 laps today. This might explain Old Joe's lack of motivation. They assigned him a new teammate as wife, Kate. Plot twist. The company's rationale. Since Kate's currently unemployed, it'd be better to bring her here so they can be together. Old Joe freaks out and refuses repeatedly. He knows this place is practically hell on earth. If his pregnant wife comes, she won't last long. So, he keeps reassuring the green duck. They'll work hard. South if told, never north. Eat if told, never drink. The green duck seems satisfied. Green Duck warns Old Joe, you must hit your quota tomorrow, or the company will make things very unpleasant for you. Double punishment will only vanish after. Suddenly, a giant triangle crashes down from the sky as punishment for failing to meet his quota. It shines blindingly, throwing both Old Joe and the guy, but Old Joe dares not complain. That night, he slept restlessly. Next morning, the tally still showed 370. The triangle. Still there. Old Joe senses the urgency. At 6, he cranks the wheel like a bull. Despite exhaustion, Old Joe persists with willpower. He hallucinates a well-dressed self mocking his current state. Finally, at 10 o'clock that night, Old Joe manages to hit his quota and flops onto the ground, diving headfirst into slumber. When he wakes up again, the green duck is thrilled with Old Joe's performance and decides to reward him not with that junk pen this time. Instead, he sees his wife cradling the baby in the delivery room, reigniting his will to survive. He yearns to see his child and hold him close. So old Joe strides over to the wall and asks the guy about Alex's escape. He wants to escape. After old Joe shares his story, the guy suggests using the surveillance blind spot. Turns out the previous guy found the exit from there. So old Joe starts investigating and finally, he spots a circle there might have been a hole there once. Even though he has no clue how the previous guy did it, old Joe feels a flip. He grabs the pen the green duck gave him, starts chiseling away at the hole, and sure enough, it cracks open. Each day the hole expands. Old Joe believes he'll escape. He informs the man and crawls in. Inside, it's pitch black. Old Joe can't see and feels his way forward until a light bursts forth. He's back in the vault. The hole filled. The green dot tells old Joe he caused a ruckus trying to escape yesterday, which had unfortunate consequences. But instead of punishing old Joe, he's going to lock up the key math. The green duck also informs old Joe that everyone is getting punished today, and today's quota. A whopping 1,000. Old Joe rushes to check on the guy next door. Upon hearing screams from the wall, he realizes the guy's been knocked silly. In extreme pain, the guy reveals the shocking secret. Everything here is being controlled by an AI. It's all controlled by algorithms. They are puppets in a computer's game. He's partly to blame as he programmed it. Would you believe it? After the algorithm was done, the guy got controlled too. Old Joe suddenly has an epiphany. Algorithms run by rules, and the rules have loopholes. Even amidst all the surveillance, old Joe's mind sparks up. He hollers loudly, rallying up his courage to break this vicious cycle. Let's pull off a major comeback. Subscribe to my channel and don't forget to slap that like button.